What's up everybody, it's the 2.4 Pre-PT and thank you for joining me for this video. So if you're here, you've probably been told or you've been questioned about your decision to enter the PT field because of your GPA, and now you're just really wondering, okay, is it actually possible for me to get into PT school with my GPA? Well, in this video, I'm going to share with you my GPA, my scores, and my application just to show you that no matter what GPA you start with, you can definitely work your way up and get into PT school. I'll also share with you 5 things that I believe all pre-PTs must do to put themselves on track to becoming competitive DPT applicants. But first, let me share with you a little bit about me and we'll head right on to the video. What's up everyone, it's Ben Kim, the 2.4 Pre-PT, and just 3 years ago, I graduated from UC Merced with a cumulative 2.4 GPA. As of right now, I've been offered acceptances to 2 DPT programs, and I'm also a pre-PT coach for low GPA students. Through this channel, I hope to help inspire pre-PTs to overcome the low GPA hurdle and become standout pre-PTs. I'll be putting out weekly videos to help you along your journey, and if this sounds interesting to you, please consider subscribing and stay to the end of this video, as there will be a special surprise that you won't want to miss. Now on to the video. Alright guys, so now let me show you guys just how possible this is. So we're going to start off just by showing you guys my GRE stats. So we got here, I only took it once, we got 150 on my verbal, but it's only 47 percentile, right? So that's slightly below average. 159 on the quantitative, that's decently above average. My strong point is math, so it kind of came to me a little bit easy, but analytical writing 3.5, that's below average. 41 percentile. So guys, this is nothing standoutish. You don't need crazy numbers to offset your GPA and look good for PT schools. Like, this is suffice. And these are numbers that anybody can study for, and just if you put in a lot of time, effort, you know, be resourceful, learn from people that have done it successfully, and just be consistent with it, all this is doable, right? So that is my GRE score. Let's go ahead, let's take a look at my GPA. Right, so I started off at University of California, Merced from undergrad, 2.42 GPA, hence the 2.4 pre-PT. All right, after that, I retook classes at my local community college, and I got a 3.66 GPA there. And so overall, when all was said and done, I had a 2.78. And so guys, listen. I got not into 1 program, but 2 programs, plus a wait list and 3 interviews off this, right? So for anyone that tells you that, hey, you can't get into PT school with a low GPA, just know that that's a completely false belief. You totally can, but is it gonna take time? Is it gonna take effort? Yes, because you are gonna have to retake a lot of classes. Like for me, I had to retake almost all of my prereqs. But it's great because during this time you're going to get to learn how to become that better student, and it's going to make you a better person in the process. Alright, so there you guys have it. You guys saw my GRE, you guys saw my GPA, the most important statistical stats. Let's take a look now at the letter Rex, just to prove to you all that none of this is BS. Like, I actually got these letters, I've been accepted, and so let's take a look. Alright, so let's start with the first letter I've received. So I did early decision, and I early decision to Rosalind Franklin University. As you guys can see, it's to my name right there, and yeah, it was September 21st. So this interview, I was honestly super surprised, super stoked to have received this. I got it 2 weeks after I submitted my application, and I want to say, and I was in shock. You know, like, I've heard other people do it. I heard a few low GPA students get interviews and get accepted, but you know, like, anytime it's your first time for something, you're just super shocked that it actually happened. And so this is my first interview. Unfortunately, you know, I choked on the interviews. This is my first interview. They had a very weird format. It was MMI. So that means that there's like 6 different stations, and everyone is like one-on-one at each station. You rotate, and each station is timed. And honestly, I just did not prepare for it. I let the nerves get to me, and I choked. That's really the only way I could put it. It's like It was my first interview. It was like a rookie entering the league, choking on their first preseason game. But that was it. After this interview, I was fired and juiced up. I knew how to study and prepare myself for all future interviews. So that leads me to the next school, Tennessee State. So there you go. Dear Bennett, congratulations. You've been offered acceptance into our program for the class of 2022. This is my first acceptance letter. Honestly, it's just, man, like, it just felt great to finally receive an acceptance. Like, that first acceptance just gave me so much confidence and allowed me to influence so many more people, which I'm so very thankful for, even to this day. Like, I thank you, Tennessee State, for putting their faith and investing in me. So this was my first letter, guys, right here. MGH sent me an email, I don't know, maybe a month later, and they told me that, hey, we kind of like you, but we got limited seats, so we're gonna have you on our wait list. I'm like, okay, all right, that's cool. And I also got a rejection letter, actually, from High Point University, which I don't have anymore. For some reason, when they sent it to me, it ended up in my junk mail, and my junk mail deletes every 30 days. So I don't have that email anymore, unfortunately. I wish I did, but that's how it went down. And then here is my last email that I have received recently. I applied to St. Augustine last, like way later, and I have received my acceptance just very recently for the September cohort at San Diego, which is the campus I originally wanted. And man, am I happy for this. Like, this has become, over the past couple months, this has become my #1 choice school. And for it to be in San Diego, or near San Diego in California, you know, I get to stay at home, and I get to stay in Southern California, go to drive, have my car there. The weather is beautiful in San Diego. It's everything I could ask for, and the staff and the people there are just great. So I'm just so blessed, so thankful for this opportunity. But guys, do you guys see this? That it doesn't matter what GPA you start with when you guys graduate. You guys, this is all attainable. Like, you guys see it. And so pay attention to this video, guys. Really be open-minded to the 5 things I'm about to show you and start applying them. And I tell you, if you put in the work, you will get there. And with that said, let's move on to the rest of the video. All right, so now that you all see that it's possible, now that you all see that really with any GPA that you have or whatever your circumstances are that you can do it, let me explain to you where we are with this analogy as low GPA pre-PT. So imagine a cliff, right? And at the top of the cliff, that's when you're ready to get accepted in PT school, you get the letter, all that. So at the top of the cliff is people that are coming out undergrad, and they've known that they wanted to do PT for many years. So they have everything in line. They have a 4.0 GPA or something close to there. They got their letter of recs in line. They got their clinical hours in line. They got their application stuff ready, and so they're all set to go. Basically, all they're waiting on is getting their diploma and then just submitting all the stuff to PT Cast. They're set, right? And then now you got at the middle of the cliff, middle way up the cliff, you got those people like that are kind of ready. Like, they know they want to do PT. They got most of their stuff in line, but they still need to retake maybe 1 or 2 classes, or they're missing 1 or 2 classes. They still need to get their letter of recs, maybe some more clinical hours, right? But they're almost there. There's not much left to do until they're ready to apply and be competitive. At the bottom of the mountain, you got your 3.0 students who maybe found out they want to do PT late, so they don't have much in line, but they have an okay GPA, but they still need to retake classes. They're still missing some. They still need their letter of recs, and all those kind of things, right? But now for us as low GPA pre-PTs who are under 3.0, maybe we found our passion late, right? We're actually underwater. And the reason I say underwater is, because when you fall below a 3, society, the people around you, like a 2 just sounds really bad, and it comes with a horrible stigma. And so for those of you who have a 2.0 or something in the 2s, you guys can probably relate, right? Like, there's a stigma that comes with having a 2 point something. And a 2 just sounds like, a 3 sounds okay. Like 3 sounds like you did okay in school. A 2 sounds like, oh, you got a 2.0. Like that sounds like terrible. And it's not that there's that big of a difference, but it's the stigma that comes along with it, right? So when you have a 2.0, you might notice that, yeah, like maybe your family's treating you different. Maybe those people close to you are treating you different. Like you don't belong, or like you're not as capable, or like you're not on your way to being successful, really just based off a number. And because of all this that's going around you and how people make you feel, it becomes an insecurity of yours. And that insecurity starts messing with your confidence. It starts messing with what you think you're capable of. It messes with your self-image. And this is the biggest problem I feel for low GPA pre-PTs, is that they can't get above sea level. They're drowning because everyone around them, even themselves, have placed this insecurity on them that's burdening them down. And so the first thing that I believe that low GPA pre-PTs must do to overcome this low GPA hurdle is that you gotta be sick and tired of where you're at. You gotta be sick and tired of how you're treated. You gotta be sick and tired of this image of you, right? And so for me personally, when I hit my lowest point, like I didn't wanna feel like the loser in the family. I didn't wanna feel like inferior or less capable than any one of my family members or anyone around me, right? Like I didn't want to feel insecure about myself, my abilities, my confidence. I wanted my life back, and deep down inside, really what I wanted was greatness, right? I wanted to release my inner greatness. And so what I'm saying is, to sum it all up, like you got to be sick of where you are right now, and you got to make a commitment to change. And that is the first step to swimming your way through the waters. And so the next thing I'm going to tell you is something that I've already done for you, and that's give you belief. Like it's one thing to be like, all right, I'm done with this. Like I refuse to stop living like this. That's great. You know you want to do PT, you got to fully believe. And now that you fully believe that you can do it, the next step, number 3, is guidance and mindset. So just like we talked about earlier, right? As low GPA pre-PTs, we have damaged mindsets and insecurities that were placed upon us by society around us, by our parents, by our family members, by friends around us. And so the first thing we have to do is we have to break out of that. And so there are multiple ways to develop your mindset. Common ways are books, videos, podcasts, but to start out, the number 1 method of personal development I would recommend to you guys is to talk and learn from people with the mindset that you want. So seek mentorship and guidance from someone who you feel that you can relate to, or has done it before, or is going through it. Because you gotta understand, like society, everyone around you has kind of put you in a hole, and you need someone to pull you out those trenches. But if you can't find someone, like definitely start getting into the books, start getting into the videos, the podcasts, people with the mindset that you want. I'll tell you guys about my mindset right now. And so for me, I had to have the Mamba mentality. And for those of you who don't know basketball, that's from Kobe Bryant. And Kobe Bryant's really known for his passion, his work ethic, his killer assassin mentality. And so he had a quote that said, at some point you gotta be sick of not being number 1 and play angry. And that was literally like what I live by. Like I was sick of where I was at. I was sick of being a loser. Like I was angry, and I wanted to prove to myself, I wanted to prove to my family, I wanted to prove to everybody around me that, yo, like I'm great and I'm about to show you, right? And if you want to break it down even more, what the Mamba mentality is, it's the intention of approaching all tasks or everything you do with the domination mindset. It's being relentless. It's aiming to be number 1 at all times. It's willing to do anything and everything to become your best self. It's being self-accountable for your actions. It's the mindset that nobody is stopping you. Like it's all on you. I don't care what professor it is. They could have a 2.0 rating on Rate My Professor. I don't care. Like if anyone's ever gotten an A in that class, why can't I? And it's having that kind of mindset. It's like, if I have to go to office hours every day, so be it, I'll do it. Like, that's the kind of mindset that you need to have, or that I had as a pre-PT. Now, you don't have to have this mindset. I get it, everybody has a different mindset. But there is one thing that all winning mindsets have to have in common, and that's that you gotta go in thinking you're gonna win. Like, you can't go in guessing, hey, like, am I gonna win? If not, it's okay. Like, no, like, there's gotta be only one movie playing in your head, and that's of you winning. You can't go into it half winning, half losing. Can't go into it questioning, hey, like, if it works out, cool. If not, oh well. Like, no, like, there's no plan B. Burn all your bridges. It's PT or bust. That's it. That's the kind of mentality that you need to have going into this. And so let's recap a little bit on how we can develop our mindset. Of course, obvious sources: podcasts, books, videos on YouTube. But the thing is, you got to find out whose mindset you like. Whose passion do you like? Who do you admire? Who do you want to be like? And follow those people. Listen to those people a lot. Who do you relate with, right? Like, find these people. Or you find like you're weak in a certain category. Maybe it's your communication with others. Maybe it's your leadership. Maybe it's your confidence. They're all sources of personal development for all these things. You could ask me, you could ask other people. You could Google search like, hey, I need help with personal development for learning how to influence others. There's gonna be books for that. For habits, there's gonna be books for that. You know, so just be resourceful. Use the people around you, use me, use the community, use Google, and find like what you need help with. And personal development is just so broad. It's gonna cover everything that you need. But like I mentioned earlier, to start out, like, really get on a call with somebody that you relate. Get on a call or talk, or really listen to people that you relate with, people that can help bring you out the trenches. And that would be a great first step to helping you out with your mindset. All right, guys, the fourth thing that you guys need. All right, guys, so the fourth thing that you guys need to make happen is to form a new community. So what got you into this hole in the first place where you're underwater? It's the people around you. It's the family, it's the friends, it's all those people that made you feel insecure about your GPA and yourself this whole time. So now we need to surround you with people that are gonna empower you. Other pre-PTs, preferably low GPA pre-PTs, that are going through the struggle, the hustle, the grind. Maybe people that have done it, people that can bring you up. Because here's the truth. It's a long journey, and during this journey, there's gonna be times where you get put down a lot. There's gonna be times where you run into brick walls and you're gonna want to quit if you got no support, or if there are people just questioning you the whole time. It's gonna make you start questioning your decision about your journey. So this is really important. They say you are the sum of the 5 people that you talk to the most, or the 5 people that are closest to you. So we got to make sure that most of those 5, because, you know, one of them has to be your mom or your parents. Like, you got to make sure that the others are solid, that they're people that are going to support you and not just validate everything you say, but check you, because there'll be times where you just want to give up and they're going to tell you no. Like, you can't give up right now. I know it's hard. I know it seems impossible right now, but you just gotta push through and you're gonna get there. When you have the right network and community around you, it becomes very hard to lose. And so now you might ask, like, okay, Ben, so how do I find these people? How do I find this community? Well, a couple things. One, this YouTube channel. So one of the reasons I created it was to form a low GPA community for you guys to all build your teams. So I know the channel is new. You might be able to find some in the comments. You might not. Another thing is, I am starting a Facebook page with a couple other low GPA pre-PTs. I'll link that down below in the description. And on top of that, there's also this great community called Pre-PT Grind. They have a page as well. You might have seen it. It's the Pre-Doctors of Physical Therapy page. I'll link that one down below as well. And if you really want to surround yourself with the hungriest pre-PTs in the world that really want this and are all really supportive and trying to build a family network, you need to join the acceptance system. I'll do another video on that, but essentially it's a paid course but it comes with mentorship from Joseph and Casey. You may have heard them, you may have not. It comes with coaching from one of your pre-PT coaches. I am one of them. And you also are surrounded with a community of fantastic, hungry, and supportive pre-PTs that all just want to see each other win. All right, guys, and lastly, number 5, the grind. This is what you probably expected to hear in the first place from this video. This is the thing that you're probably gonna hear from everybody else's video, but it's a grind, y'all. Like, we are starting, if you follow the first 4 steps, you just made it out from underneath the water. But that honestly is the hardest step. The mental game is everything, and it's also the hardest part to overcome. But once you've overcome that, now it's the grind, right? So now let's talk about what you need to do. So let's first talk about the GPA. And what I want to say about that, first and foremost, is that it works both ways, guys. Like, when we've had low GPAs the past 4 years, that doesn't represent who we are now, but it does represent who we were before. And understand that GPA affects how schools look at you, it affects where we can apply, it affects how people look at us. But also understand that, like I said, it works both ways. So once we increase our GPA, once we start only getting A's and B's, and we're creating our new track record, also understand that that affects how schools look at you. Now they're like, oh, okay, you know what? This person's had a tremendous change. This person is resilient. This person is willing to put in the extra years and the time to show and really do what it takes to get into PT school. It affects what programs now that you can apply to. Right now, as your GPA goes up, your cumulative goes up, now you can apply to more schools. Now, it affects how people look at you. Now, those people that once looked at you like, oh, he's inferior, oh, he's not capable of doing big things, oh, you know, whatever. Now they're looking at you like, oh, wow, I'm so proud of you. Like, you grew so much. Wow, like, you're such an inspiration, right? So now everything shifts. And so now let's talk about retaking classes, because that's a big topic. Generally speaking, I would say retake all prereqs that you need to take that are lower than a B. Now, what prereqs do you need? Well, that depends on the schools you pick. I would recommend trying to find the top 5 schools of your choice. And then once you find that, you can see like what prereqs those schools require. And from that, retake all the prereqs that you need to that are lower than a B. And take, of course, all the classes that you haven't taken yet. As you saw with my transcript, I would recommend you guys get a prereq GPA of at least 3.5, higher if possible. Mine was a 3.6, 3.7, maybe even 3.8, depending on what school I was applying to. And that, honestly, the prereq GPA is a way that anybody, low GPA or not, can really stand out in the GPA category, because you can't do much with your cumulative. But when you can replace your grades on the prereq GPA, now it's all, okay, who's willing to put in the time to retake these classes and get the best grades? That's what it comes down to. And that's how you can stand out in the GPA category. And so let's talk about the mindset for retaking classes. Because I know, like, at first, to a lot of us, this sounds like a big burden. I don't want to have to do it, but because I have a C or a D and I need at least like a B, I'll do it. But that's not the mindset that you need to have. So understand this, guys. We're starting from underwater, right? And you're trying to make it all the way to the top. And if you are going to make it to the top of that mountain, you're going to need to transform yourself. You don't just climb that high in elevation in one go. You need to acclimate yourself. And so understand that transformation needs to take place, that you right now in underwater, you are not the person that's ready right now to take on the rigors of PT school. You need to become that person that's ready to handle the rigors of PT school. And so use this, realize that you have an opportunity right now as you retake classes to become that student. Realize that now is your time to really learn about yourself, to make the mistakes and to play through it, to learn from it, to find out, okay, like, how do I learn best, right? How do I adapt to different styles? what environments do I work best in? What environments do I de-stress best in? Like, how do I get locked in? What do I do when life hits me and I'm broken down crying? Like, how do I bounce back from a bad test? And the list goes on. It's just right now, it's all about learning more about yourself and becoming who you need to be, so that by the time PT school gets here, you're ready and you're actually more prepared than all your other peers, and you're way more resilient. And just understand, guys, that this transformation doesn't happen overnight. It doesn't happen over even just one semester. Like, it takes time. And so be patient. Like, always aim. Like I said, the mindset. Always, for me, and I tell this to my mentees, always aim to be number one, but understand that it's not about actually getting number one. It's about the approach. It's about always trying to strive for number one. And same thing with the A. So first semester, as you're transforming, as you're growing, like, if you don't get that A, it's okay. That's not the ultimate prize. The ultimate prize is trying to get that number one spot, even if you end up with a B. Because the more you do this, the more you give it your all out, the more you give yourself more of a load to work with, the more you grow. And you know what? Next semester you realize, you know what? I should be able to do that. Like, that's my floor, and I can even do more. Because as you continue to put yourself with that more challenging loads and more, you're able to do more. You're able to handle more. And that's how the transformation happens. So like I tell all my mentees, like, getting that A is just the cherry on the top. The cake is the journey. The cake is striving to get that number one spot, striving to get that A. Because as whenever you strive for that, you're giving it your all out, you are growing and you're learning. And you take that to your next semester and you keep building off that, and before you know it, A's are gonna become your routine thing. But you have to transform into that. You have to grow into that, right? So don't be too upset. Like, it's okay to be upset, it's okay to be mad, but don't beat yourself up over it. Learn from it, assess it, take it to next semester, and kill it. But besides that, guys, for part of the grind, like, you just gotta try to stand out in everything that you do. Like, you gotta start thinking about how you're gonna stand out on your GRE. You gotta start thinking about how you're gonna stand out on your GRE, how you're gonna stand out on your letter of recs, how are you gonna stand out on your resume, really, how are you gonna stand out on everything that you can possibly submit. So I've already talked a lot today, but I have a future video on all these topics to help you guys out with these individual things and how to stand out. But that's pretty much it, guys. Thank you for joining me on my first video, and stay tuned for the surprise. Thank you for making it to the end of the video, everyone. As promised, I do have a special gift for you guys, and here's what it is. So as a low GPA pre-PT, I understand that making it, especially out of the underwater section, is very, very difficult by yourself. And so that's why I created this YouTube channel, is to help guide you guys from all the way underneath the water and eventually climb yourself all the way up that cliff. So let's take this a step further. I want to get to know you guys, so I'm going to offer you guys a free 40-minute call. And what we're gonna do is we're gonna talk about our stories and get to know each other. If you want a game plan, we can game plan for your future. And if there's anything else, any questions, any concerns, we can all talk about that. And here's how it's gonna work. So if you're interested and you wanna do this, comment down below, let's talk. And also include the hashtag low GPA pre-PT. And what we're gonna do then is I'm gonna send you a private message, and it's gonna come with a special link that I usually only give to my mentees for power calls. And with this link, you'll be able to schedule a time that's available and we will hop on that call. But that's it for this video, guys. And if you guys like this content, make sure to hit that subscribe button. I'll be putting out videos twice a week to help you guys along with your journey. And that's it from me, guys. Many blessings to you all. The 2.4 pre-PT. Until next time, I'm out. Peace.